What's up, guys? Atapark here, and today we are going to switch gears for a little bit. So I've been talking to specifically my leaders for quite a bit of time with the content on this channel, talking about how raid leaders and guild leaders and officers and whatnot and group leaders can handle low performers. People that are every single day their DPS is lower, they're dying to crap, or whatever the case might be, and how to talk to those that are performing poorly or who are dying, and what steps that you as a leader should be taking to kind of remedy and rectify that situation. So today, like I said, we're going to switch gears, and I'm going to turn it around. I want to talk to you, the raider, you, the guy that is dying on every single mechanic, that is underperforming, that is just not pulling your weight, that doesn't deserve that raid spot. Now, I want to be very specific here that while I've talked about, especially to, like I said, the raid leaders and guild leaders and all those guys, about how to sit players, we're going to talk about that intermediate period. You as a raider have not yet been sat. You still have a raid spot. People are still inviting you to the raid. You still have a chance to very incredibly easily fix that situation. Now, again, like I said, I've done a video and I'll put it in the description below for you guys about getting sat and steps you can take, and some of them are very similar. However, I want you to understand that if you are kind of in that limbo period where you're fucking up, but you haven't been sat yet, and raid night comes and you still get an invite, it is infinitely easier to fix what's going on rather than getting sat and going through this whole ordeal of proving yourself, literally proving yourself once again what's going on. So let's start with this. Honestly, regardless of the caliber of player you are, whether you are a brand new raider, whether you have been raiding for 10, 12 years, however long the games come out, whether you are doing normal or LFR, which isn't really raiding, but whatever, or if you are high end mythic, world first method, whatever, no one plays perfectly all of the time. No way. Now, obviously, your high-end raiders are going to play close to perfect the majority of the time, but they still screw up. Let's be honest here. It's mathematically impossible to be perfect all the time. You can hit the wrong button, internet's going to go out, something's going to happen, whatever. So when your raid leader calls you out or pulls you aside after the raid, this is what we're talking about. What can you do? So again, obviously, like we mentioned on the being sat video, the threshold that you're going to be given is going to be dictated by the difficulty and the seriousness of your raid group. So if you are high end mythic, you screw up once or twice, you're probably done for good. At least in a trial scenario where you haven't garnered any tenure and people don't know you, they don't really want to give you a chance. You probably get a little bit of slack if you've been there a while. Now, if you were just raiding normal, yeah, that might be extended to, hey, a couple of sit-down talks and whatever. But I just want you guys to understand that this is the ideal situation, is if you are screwing up, is to not be sat and to immediately fix it. So we've talked about being sat, but I want to talk about that in-between area. The first and probably the most important thing that you as a player should do immediately is accept responsibility for your screw up. Now, I can tell you as a raid leader, as a guild leader, somebody that's been doing this a pretty damn long time, that nothing turns me off more to keeping a raider on the roster. Nothing literally pushes me away from helping a raider faster. Nothing puts a worse light on a player quicker than you arguing with me or placing the blame on other players or because of forces out of your control when you screw up. Now, again, internet goes out, okay, obviously. Computer crashes, obviously. But if you stood in bad stuff and you get killed 3 or 4 times, something's wrong. So let me be clear. I want to take a step back here, that if you know and you as a player can back up with data from logs that you were not at fault for something, then obviously you have a leg to stand on. And your raid leader, your guild leader, whoever's talking to you, whoever is kind of thinking about sitting you, most definitely should be keeping that in mind, that you are in the right in arguing. Absolutely. But we're not talking about that. This whole video, we are talking about 100%, no doubt about it. You're screwing up. You're standing in fire. You are getting yourself killed. You have low DPS. You have whatever. There's no argument about it. You know, and the logs prove and show the data is there that shows that you are at fault. So to share with you guys, we had a raider here recently, maybe last week, who I reached out to him after we did heroic Tomb of Sargeras. And I told him that, hey, look, man, you're failing at mechanics. You know, I can see that during Mistress on heroic that, you know, you're getting hit by a whole bunch of Hydra shots, like 2 at a time, and you're not moving out of the big shark dude that jumps up. I don't remember the name of the ability, but like the instant kill ability, like you need to move out of it. Like just, hey, it's not a raid night. Here's what I've noticed. We need to fix it. His response was he came back an hour or two later and he said that it wasn't because he wasn't moving out of stuff or whatever. It was because the healers weren't healing him. That it wasn't his fault. The healers just simply, they were shit healers that night and they weren't healing him. So now, mind you, it's not a raid night. So I'm trying to relax. I'm trying to do other things. Maybe trying to play some Diablo or Overwatch or just whatever the hell I want to do. And now I get a message on Discord saying, hey, it's not my fault. And I know it is. Like, I've seen it. I've already looked through the data. So now I have to stop what I'm doing. And I have to pour through the logs in detail. And I do so for that night. And I give this raider a step-by-step account of every single death that he had that night. And showed that out of the, handful, I mean, we're talking 8 or 10 deaths that night, that maybe one of them, maybe, were because of the healers. That he was getting hit by a Hydra shot, he was standing in bad crap, he wasn't moving. And it was 100% his fault the majority of the time. The rest of the deaths were on him. He failed, he was not performing correctly. And now I have a dude that has started to argue with me because of it. And who isn't seeing that instead of realizing I'm trying to help him and I'm trying to guide him and get him in this mindset where he can fix it, he just wants to argue and put the blame on somebody else. And now I'm not looking at him in the greatest of light. Do we really need him? Now my focus is going to be more so on like him because of this. And had he said, hey, can we sit down and pour through the logs, like show me what's going on. I'm not sure where I died at. That would have been a completely different scenario than him going, it was the healers, it wasn't me. So instead of me thinking that he wants to fix things, I now know that he can't take responsibility. He's unwilling to say, look, I fucked up. I need to fix it. Cool, I'm on it. Now, the second thing, once you accept responsibility, and again, we know you have screwed up, you obviously need to fix it. And that's an obvious one, like no shit, obviously. But we need to dig a little deeper here. So oftentimes here, I tell you guys to take a step back, especially my leaders, my raid leaders, my guild leaders, my officers, those of you that are doing whatever in a leadership role. Oftentimes, I tell you to kind of take a step back, to, in the heat of the moment, to stop. Get up from your computer, walk away, breathe a little bit, close your eyes, whatever you got to do, and consider the situation. Think about what's going on. Do some reflecting, do some soul searching, whatever it might be. And it could maybe not be that night. It could be the next day. But figure out what's going on. And the same thing it pertains to this. If you are failing to a mechanic, take a step back. Go, okay, what is killing me? Are there others that are dying to this? Are there others that are not dying to this? Are there players that are not dying to this and I am? Clearly I'm doing something wrong. Are there players in this raid that are the same class, maybe the same spec as me? How are they avoiding this? How are they handling this mechanic? Talk to them. Please, guys, remember that this is an MMO, massive multiplayer online. You should be more than comfortable talking to your guild members, your raid members. I mean, I've had people, strangers that I've never met before, ask me for, we did a normal Tomb of Sargeras pug over the weekend. And I said, hey guys, if anybody needs anything, my main is a bear tank, which, side note, may not be the case here for long, but we'll see. My main for right now is a bear tank. If you guys need anything, ask away. And people were whispering me, and I got a couple of questions over Discord while we were clearing trash. Hey, how do I do this with the boss? And, what, et cetera, and our bear tank's this and that. And how do I handle this situation? Never met these dudes before. So if strangers can do that, then you sure as hell should be able to do it to your group, your guild, your raiders. And ask them, hey man, I keep dying to whatever mechanic for whatever boss. What are you doing to avoid that? Are you ice blocking or, cheat death or, whatever? Who cares? Whatever. How are they handling that? Ask them. Get in Discord for your class. Get in the forums on World of Warcraft or Reddit or whatever, and ask players. Look through your spellbook and figure out, okay, is there something that gives me immunity to X mechanic? What could I use to negate this? And then once you figured it out, move forward. That's number 3. Move forward. Now, as a raid leader, I expect that everyone in my raid performs. Some people perform obviously significantly better than others, but the expectation and the job for me and my officers is that we push you guys, that those low performers we bring up or we cut, and those high performers we continue to encourage, so that not only do they set the example for everyone else, but they continue to push and they don't plateau out and go, I'm top DPS, I'm good. I'm not going to worry about getting better gear or, fine tuning, to eke out 100 more DPS or 1,000 more DPS because I'm golden. No, that's, as a leader, I'm going to continue pushing you and going, hey man, what can you do? How did you screw up here? Pouring through logs, etc. I expect that my players perform. This means that if there is a problem, you as a raider need to fix it and then keep going. Don't get bound up in, I died to this mechanic, so, I'm going to be sat and, the guild hates me and, I'm never going to get loot. No, dude. That's the difference between, at least in a good group, is I have a problem. I'm failing the mechanics. I fix it. My raid leader knows I've worked to fix it. We're good. And as a raid leader, as a guild leader, my mindset is, this guy has a problem with mechanics. He's fixed it. We're good. He's going to get loot. I'm going to continue bringing him, etc. Or he's not working to fix it. He's not going to get loot. He's giving me attitude. I'm going to drop him from the roster. I'm going to bench him for the night or the week or permanently. I don't want to have to pull you aside. And actually, let me take a step back here myself. If there's a problem, you need to fix it. Keep going. I don't want to be told to look at the logs. I don't want you calling, hey, I totally fixed my problem. Look at the logs. I didn't die at all last night. I don't care. You're not doing anything special. You're literally doing your job as a raider. Cool. You're doing what I expect and what you should be expected to do. Fix your issue, whatever it might be, and ensure you're not doing it again. Now, as I was mentioning before, I don't want to have to pull you aside on Goroth in Tomb of Sargeras and tell you to stop standing in the fire or not taking cover behind the spikes, and then tell you on Demonic Inquisition to stop standing in the purple crap and getting hit by the spikes, and then on Harjatan to stop standing in the green crap and getting hit by the attacks, and then on Mistress to stop standing in the green crap and getting hit by. It's the same shit regardless of the boss. I want you to fix your issue and then not have it again. You stand in crap, you go, oh, well, I keep dying and failing because I'm standing in crap. I fixed it. I no longer stand in crap. That's what is expected of you as a raider. And that is the difference between moving to that I've been sat, now I need to totally revamp my playstyle and prove myself or look for a new guild, a new group, etc. And I have a permanent spot. I had a hiccup. I maybe stumbled a little bit. I picked myself back up. We're golden. And I'm continuing to raid. I'm happy. So, with all that being said, guys, hopefully you like what I'm saying here. If you do, hit that like button. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys have any questions about this. If you did not like this video, hit the thumbs down button. That's cool. But I would appreciate it if you let me know in the comment section below what you did not like so I can improve for you guys, right? If I pull my raters aside and talk to them, I expect you guys to let me know what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong, especially what I'm doing wrong. Now, I do want to take a second here. If you guys have made it this far into the video, and I know I'm continuing to ramble, there was a comment left on the video that I did on Thursday where one of the guys said, hey, I like your videos, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They've really helped me. And I'm totally, obviously, glossing over a good chunk of what he said. And he and I discussed a few things. And then he mentioned in a subsequent comment, I would never think to bother you about my guild, about my raids problems. And I'm speaking specifically, and hopefully he watches this video, makes it this far, to that guy. But I'm speaking to everyone that this channel is for you guys. That I, as a player, as a raid leader, as a guild leader, as a marine, as a manager in a corporate environment, I want to share my experiences. And not all of them are going to be great. Not all of them are going to be perfect. Not all of them are going to be right. But they can at least give you my mindset. They can at least spark some discussion. And I would really like to get these, hey, I have this problem. What would you do to fix it? And then come back and go, hey, this totally did or did not work, so that we can fix this. Because that's the fun part of leadership. That's the fun part of raiding, is you have issues, you fix them, people will get better, people are happy, things are getting killed, things are getting done, projects are getting done, whatever the case might be, whether it's real life, your job, raiding, etc. And everybody's good to go. Now, with all that being said, like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz, and until next time, guys, I'll see you later.